Hey, welcome. Thanks for dropping in and joining us today for our premiere episode of the show we're really excited to call Running into Life. With Caren Ware, owner-operator Caren Ware Events, SoCal's best-themed running races. Today we meet entrepreneur world runner Caren Ware as she invites us to join us on her literal run around the world, sharing the stories of the people she meets and the life lessons she picks up along the way. As Caren shows us how being active can help you find your fit and get up and over life's big challenges. That's quite a big statement to make. Caren Ware, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Today we're going to actually get to meet me, which is really fun.
Have you met you before? Are you?
Oh my gosh, I had to take me everywhere with me. I can remember sitting on an iceberg down in Antarctica and thought, wait, I can't get a vacation from myself. I am here floating around this end of the earth with myself.
This is what the show's going to be like. She's just casually going to say, yeah, there I was in an iceberg in Antarctica. Okay. Caren Ware, you have led quite a life. You have certainly faced challenges and hurdles that many of it would have knocked us down. But you got up and you ran right back into the chaos, into the mess, into the confusion, up the hill of problems and things that normally slow us down or stop us. Why? How do you do this? Is this just a life philosophy you always had, or is this something you've had to adapt to and learn along the way?
Well, that's what we're going to find out in all these podcasts, because each of us is capable of climbing out of anything. Life doesn't give us a choice sometimes.
Yeah.
And the things that I learned from running, starting at a young age, I was able to take with me to learn how to climb up and over major life challenges, very major life challenges. And those will come out in this podcast.
All right. Well, we're not. The whole purpose is to be positive and upbeat, but we gotta be real. So let's really dive into your background, where you came from, what you started, and hit a couple of those challenges along the way and how you overcome. Let's spend the next few minutes doing that. Let's start with where you're from.
Okay, cool. Well, you know what, I'm also going to tell you, just so that we stay branded with the Caren Ware, that Caren is spelled with a C, with the word Caren. And there's a huge story in that, and it's the background of my mom and why she named me Caren with a C.
Tell us the background then. Don't just tease us. Give it out here. Caren with a C. What does that mean?
So my mom was a half-breed. We're not even sure, because the story has it that her teenage mom hitchhiked from Arkansas all the way across to California.
So we're talking about Indian background,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Native Indian.
And
Native American. I'm thinking of the old Cher song, half-breed or whatever,
Yeah, so the story has it that because she's beautiful, beautiful dark skin, dark hair, and I have a brother that's 6'7", that's
6'7". Oh my God, I thought I was tall. Yeah.
And my sister's 6'1". I'm the runt of the family, and the people would tease me and say, "Hey, you had to learn to run because you had to outrun your Neanderthal siblings."
People want to beat you up, yeah.
Yeah. But my mom was a half-breed and born out of wedlock, and actually was in a orphanage child home, and two ladies from a church opened the back gate, and at 3 years old to 11 years old, they actually kind of raised her in the church.
That's like three strikes and out. Half-breed seems like such an offensive term, but if you're from that's what people called it, half-breed.
Back then, and that's why I bring it up, because it was a really...
It was a hurtful, hard thing that people said, half-breed, and then that's hard enough. And then you're saying on top of it, she's an orphan?
Yes. Well, orphaned in that she was just abandoned and left there.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
And wondering why. And so half-breed, orphaned, and what was the other one? I thought there was a third strike in here.
And three strikes you're out.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? She wasn't
living in an orphanage.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So she wouldn't give up doing that. And these two beautiful ladies just instilled in her a heart of caring and a heart of gold. And so when I was born,
you're playing the soundtrack to my life. First you started with Cher and Half-Breed. Now you're saying Neil Young's Heart of Gold here.
Yeah.
We're going to play all the songs from my youth here or something.
Yeah. So being raised I feel like these ladies raised my mom, who turned around and raised me. And
were they part of some church group or something? Well, how did they even find her or discover her?
It was a Baptist church. And my mom said she used to remember the happy day when everyone would get dressed up and go down the sidewalk and go into this building. And and so she.
So they didn't adopt her, but they kind of took her under their wing. And,
And that's kind of, you're going to find stories about me as I took a whole bunch of inner city Hispanic boys and one girl under my wing and got them.
We're going to talk
off
about
to
that in
college,
another show.
yeah.
That's amazing.
So I just want you to know the heart and the background behind
So when
it.
she has a child, is she married at this point? Was she?
Yeah, so my.
I thought maybe she's a single mom, or is going to pile one thing on top of another.
No, in fact,
yeah.
my mom was so incredibly devoted to family, and the God that designed it, designed the creation of a mom and a dad and a family, and she just on a shoestring worked her heart out to.
How do you
give
stay
us that.
upbeat and positive in that kind of background? Because you
Yes.
start life so far behind, having to run just to catch up to everybody, and everybody's taunting you with names, and you got nobody there to guide you as an orphan. A couple women kind of leading the way, but you're really kind of on your own. That to me is the image of running too. Running is a very solo practice. Yes, you can run in groups and you can kind of support, but at the end of the day, it's you against the mountain or the trail or whatever.
Absolutely. My mom actually lost a lung when she was a preteen.
See,
And-
that was the third strike I was looking
Yeah,
for.
so-
Okay, lost a lung too. What the
Yeah.
heck? Yeah.
And just because there's some genetic things that she was struggling with, but and because of that, she actually saw the drive and the zeal in me, and it all started with the elementary school jogathon. And
Really, for you,
yeah.
that easy? Somebody, you jogging in elementary school, and you said, "I kind of like this. This is for me."
Yeah, or I just thought I can put my head down and I can put endurance in with it, and I could succeed and reach a goal, which is
And that's
pretty
an
amazing.
interesting statement you make. Put your head down and just push through it. Sometimes that's the only choice you have. I had somebody on a show the other day, and they said, I'll never forget this quote. I mean, I hope I get it right. But she said, sometimes our sight gets in way of our vision. In other words, we're looking at all the things around us that are stopping us. I can't. I shouldn't. I won't. I can't go up there. I can't do this. I can't stop. So you see all these hurdles around you, and you lose sight of the vision, what you want to do. I want to get to the top of the mountain. I want to get to the end of the trail. I want to be successful. So sometimes she said you literally have to shut your sight down, close your eyes, and just go for it. I don't know if that's what you're talking
Yeah,
about
exactly. Let me say it right. Sir Edwin Hillary was the first guy that scaled Everest.
here. Yes.
And he has a quote, and I saw it when I was heading to Everest Base Camp to run that Everest
Again,
marathon.
she just dropped
And-
these things. Antarctica, Everest. Yeah, right. My normal day, my trips were to Disneyland when I was little or something,
And that's what, I'm here to just kind of show you that you can set your sights on, big summits and big mountains. But
Hillary.
Sir Edward Hillary.
I never can say his name, whatever it is, yeah.
Whatever it is.
Sir Edmund
He
Hillary,
said
yeah.
it's not the mountains that you conquer, it's yourself. And it's ourselves. And so this is what this podcast talk show is about, is just bringing all of us, each one of us ourselves in here, and then just seeing, what's going to pull our
And
lives
you
up
missed
out our books.
the part I was looking for with your mom. When she named you, she said, I'm not going to be normal and say Karen. I'm going to put some care in this.
Yes. And you know what? I hated it when I was little. I was a very shy kid, and I had to look every person in the eye and say, no, my name's spelled with a C. And my mom kind of would wink at me because she knew that I would have to look people in the eye and
maybe explain it.
And so, you know what? I have a timing company that I time RFID, chip timing for other races.
Okay.
And in addition,
That's a whole
to,
nother thing. That's a
yeah.
very specialized
But it's
need,
called
right?
It's About Time, and it's spelled ITZ. And the reason I did that, and then Caren Ware events, I always had to say, hey, it's spelled with a C, is it's one letter off. And the one letter off just reminds me that we each are. There isn't one other
Isn't
person
that an
like
interesting
us.
idea? We are sort of all born one letter off here.
Yeah.
We're
And
not
it's
just a carbon copy of everything else here.
And it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. It makes you remember things. It makes you, and so I did it on purpose to remind myself that I'm not supposed to be anybody else. I'm not supposed to be running after trying to fit in. I'm supposed to be this unique, amazing, special person on this earth, which is hard to do.
And if
It's
you're a
really-
unique piece of a puzzle, there are no two pieces alike.
Yes.
Then your job is to find where you fit into that picture.
And then you get the lead into the book.
There you go.
And that's where the gist of finding fit is. There is a really hard story in my journey. And one
Okay.
of them is my mom. My mom didn't have an easy life into marriage. You asked if she was married.
Right.
And she married a high school sweetheart, and it ended up being a really hard marriage that she was so willing to
Has so
stay.
many of those become, yes.
Yes,
Right.
and so I have on the very back of this book, the very back line on the back page says, "I am the book my mom never got to write." And
You
that's-
are the book she never got to. Wow. Now you're going to get me
And-
choked up here. Oh, my goodness.
and there's some stories in there that are life choking. And I just want to, I don't know if it's appropriate on a podcast,
sure,
but I
what
want
the
to
heck.
read this is on page 204 in my book, Finding Fit. This one's a little worn out because
Yeah.
I've been, editing, writing through and all that stuff. But
Do you revisit your stuff? I mean, some people just write it and never look at it. It
You
sounds
know
like
what?
you revisit it
I've
and rewrite
had
it.
to because I thought, all the life lessons that you learn, don't be such a fool to go out and have to relearn them again. Because
Yeah.
most of us do, and you'll see in here, there's a lot of life over and over and over again. If I had taken, my own lesson and then applied it. So that's why I want to talk.
I'm laughing. I know he's looking down at me here somewhere. My late father, who was a rough, tough bomber pilot in World War II and fought his way up through the Depression, he had a famous thing that he always said to me over and over again. There's so many mistakes you can make. Why make the same one twice?
But you know what? We're not a mistake. And that's the biggest life lesson. One of the biggest life lessons I learned is that we can make mistakes. There are challenges and there are mistakes. There's also life out there that's just dice. It rolls and all of a sudden you have
Yeah.
something hit you that's unfathomable, like these
It's either
fires
lucky
that just happen.
seven or it's you crap out here.
Yeah, seriously. So anyway,
All right,
I
so
want to take
read the quote.
activity because that's the gist of this whole podcast is just to
Right.
get you inspired and active and learning, just learning other people. I love to just run into people and the people I meet.
Running
and so
into people, running into
Yeah.
life, running into challenges, not running away. Right?
And the cool part is to take that word care with me. So what I run into is I always hope to see.
You're kind of like a boy. You remember, and you're quoting all these bizarre songs I remember from the '60s. But Johnny Cash, A Boy Named Sue, and his father leaves him with this name. And when he finally meets him, he says, "Well, I knew I couldn't be around, so I gave you that name because you'd either live or die."
Yeah, be tough. There's exactly what my mom I think intended with that word care in my name.
Right.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. All right. So the quote is, you want to read
Okay,
something here?
So I'm just going to read one of the paragraphs in here just because I want to
Go.
grip onto you. How,
Grip on you. No, there's a religious
Yeah,
sounding,
yeah,
and
I
he
wanna
gripped
put-
onto you.
I want to put a
Hook
clamp
in
on
there.
you hook, I guess, or a clamp that this book, Finding Fit, too, is just life. But every time I was able to kind of pull my own self up by my bootstraps, because sometimes you have to. There's no one
Yeah.
out there that's going to rescue you. And you've got to know, kind of have a toolbox of how
Your
you're going to do
mother
it.
was an epitome of that. As an
Yeah.
orphan, you are only pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. There's nobody
Exactly.
holding the strings or helping you.
So this is what just I wanted to leave, or just
Lay it
talk
on us
about
there,
yeah,
yeah.
lay it on you that activity can do this. So I ran the Midnight Sun Marathon, which is up in Alaska, and it's
What?
on June 21st or what is that? What do they call it? The solstice, the longest day of the year.
Right.
Up there,
Where
the sun-
literally the sun doesn't go
yeah,
down.
the sun doesn't go down, but reverse that in the middle of winter and the
Sun
sun
never
doesn't
comes
come
up,
up.
yeah.
So they run this to celebrate the marathon, and I was doing it because it was a marathon that was dedicated to people that were dealing with leukemia as cancer.
Okay.
And my mom did contract leukemia as cancer.
Oh, geez.
And so as I'm running, I wanted to keep my thoughts from grimacing. Pain was twisting, and it was hard to untwine. The intensity of marathon miles inflicts a body. Endurance becomes necessary somewhere along the route. Yet I was feeling weary of already enduring so much. Marathon running, in fact, running in general, has been described as worthy therapy. It does somehow help. Somehow, for me, it tires the body so the inside can rest with it. Running mixes what life throws at you with your own choice to throw even more at yourself. The grind rewards you with the satisfactory proof that you know you have what it takes. It somehow invigorates at the same time it's depleting. Sounds like an oxymoron, but it's true. It teaches you that you can take more than you think you can, and that you can rise above and overcome some seemingly insurmountable foes. I was hoping it would bury pain, the kind of pain that I could not bury with dirt.
Kind of pain I couldn't bear with dirt. I don't want to share too much of my story, but I have to share some of it because it intertwines with that. We adopted a little girl from Mexico, and my only daughter was abandoned in Mexico, lived in a village, brought to this country illegally, beat up, fell into foster care, and we adopted her. And talk about resilience and fighting. And the thing that I found helped her get through this stuff was running.
Interesting.
She's not a serious runner, but when she was really angry or upset, we were trying to get her in school and kids are making fun of her and she can't study and she didn't know anything. She couldn't read or write and everything. So everything was such a struggle for her. And she just went out and took a run. The other day I saw that. She was mad and upset about something. She goes out and runs. It clears her head. And I think it does what you said in that paragraph. It tires the body. It tires not just the body. It sort of tires the mind so she can stop the little hamster wheel that's going, I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm angry. It somehow, it quiets her down and it tires. It really does. When she's tired out, it's like, okay, now I can face this. Now I can deal with something. But when she's too wound up or inside or outside, too tense or whatever, she's a mess. She can't handle these things. They overwhelm her.
So that's what I want to just do through this podcast is just teach us not necessarily running, any activity, movement.
Running is for you and her is the way to get it out. But
use it as a healthy vice, not a vice, but use it as a healthy
device.
A device. There you go. An additive and enhancement. And people that know me know that I need to move, and I actually am. I call it. I think I want to start a movement. And if we're
gonna have to slow you down this show because we've talked before, and you're like a mile a minute. I'm like, whoa, hang on here. You're already down 50 paces, and I'm trying to catch up with what you just said here. So, give us a couple. You had your own couple. We focus on your mom's challenges in life. Wow, more than 3 strikes there. A lot of strikes. Orphan, half-breed. Lose a half of your lung, on and on and on, get into an early marriage that's struggled to work with. And yet, somehow she made it, and she birthed you and instilled you with care. She forged it into your name here, so you had to face that and deal with that. Was life then just easy for you afterwards? It sounds like you had a couple of big challenges yourself along the way.
Well, I actually put it this Finding Fit. The title is Running Through an Arduous Childhood, so that gives you an answer to that.
Right.
And my childhood was arduous, and a remote marathon on every continent, and what it can help you find. And
didn't you, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but didn't you go through some other things? You were talking about an unexpected divorce or some other things.
Yes. And so, you know what I
mean, there was a litany of things that sort of, and what strikes me with my daughter, and it sounds like you and your mother, is when you get hit over and over again, one of two things happens. You either stay down and don't get up again, because I don't want to get hit, or you're mad and I just give up, I quit, I'm angry, whatever. I'm going to avoid pain, I'm going to avoid problems, I stop, I do it, or you just get up and say, all right, that's the best you got. Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
do it
absolutely.
Again.
I have a couple chapters in here, and one of them is called "Fear is a Liar."
And fear is a liar.
Oh my God!
Childhood. I wish I'd known that, because fear. I can't do this, and that's the absolute truth, whether you believe it or not. I mean, whether it's true or not, you believe it.
It keeps us from doing a lot of things, and I went out of childhood with a couple high-end phobias. One was putting my face underwater, and the other was fear of heights, like petrified of heights.
Yeah.
And if I couldn't put my face underwater, I couldn't swim. And if I had fear of heights, I couldn't go near anything that would help me climb over something.
Yeah.
So in college, my first year of college, at that young adult age, I thought, let's hit them head on. I signed up for water safety instruction, and I signed up for rock climbing 101.
Yeah. Oh, and yikes.
Neither of them.
I'm kind of scared of heights. I'm definitely scared of heights. I wouldn't go up in rock climbing or whatever here. I wouldn't push myself I wouldn't jump out of a plane just to force myself to face it. And
fear is a great thing. It's God-given. We have fear of loud noises when we're born, and we have fear of heights or falling, not heights, but fear of falling. And that keeps us healthy and alive, and fear is a good thing. And if you step down fear, you're going to put yourself in some precarious situations.
Yeah.
But to overcome fear of height by learning how to clip in and be hooked onto a belayer and be hooked on a light taught me so incredibly much.
Well, that's why we put some other people in there, because originally the logo was just going to be you running.
Yes.
And I still think that's kind of the image I have. But along the way, you've hiked, you've climbed, you've done other things other than just running, scuba dived or whatever here, I guess.
And I want to have 2 images out there so that you can see that you
find your own path.
Yeah,
right.
hook in Because to do things solo, there's a movie out there called Free Solo and Rock Climbing.
Okay.
Everyone has seen it. It was National Geographic.
Is that crazy guy that goes
Yes,
up?
thank you for putting the word crazy.
That's all I remember his name. This guy goes up, freak, no rope, no nothing, and you see him at the, what's like Yosemite, whatever that.
Yeah, El Capitan, yeah.
Which is just a sheer rock. It's just almost seems like a side of a building. It's straight up. And he's inching his way up, and any moment he slips, he's done.
Yeah, look at the done. The sport of rock climbing is all about the safety of it, the safety of the knots, of the protection you put in, and mainly it's based on a belayer that you're linked up to a person that you can entrust and trust, that's holding the rope and paying attention to your climb. And I feel like that's the same beautiful, strong allegory in life, is that we've got to have a belayer. We have to have belayers and people and.
But not this guy. He just goes up with his little chalk in his fingers and crevice to crevice and. So hours it takes him to climb up this rock.
I'm going to ask my listeners to look up a movie, and I think you can get it on Netflix and all that stuff. It's a documentary, true documentary. So it reads like a movie, though, and it's called The Dawn, D-A-W-N, The Dawn Wall. And that came out the same time as Free Solo, but it was a documentary kind of shoved away because everyone was, intense by and the film footage and Free Solo is amazing. That filmmaker,
even I've seen that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone's seen that, but I want you to envision rock climbing, and in the Dawn Wall, it was all about teamwork, where one could outclimb the other one, but is at the point to get up to the top of a climb and be the only one that did it, but you didn't bring up the belayer that helped you get up the rock. So I want you to watch that, because even if you're not a climber, it's the kind of a rocky. Remember Rocky Balboa?
Rocky, yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
And so in saying all that, that's what you're gonna find as we talk, and that's what's in the first chapters of my book.
Okay, so you're the female Rocky. You're gonna push us into these rocky worlds here. They're gonna take us to places we've never seen or been. And I guess the point of the show isn't just to show you, hey, I did it, you can. That's part of it. Part of it is then to share the lessons you pick up along the way. That sometimes you have to go back and thumb through your book again and say, oh, I didn't learn that lesson right. Here it is. I forgot that lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
And part of it is what I think is fascinating, because you're going to take us into this world we've never seen. You've literally been around the world, as you've hinted at, to show us people, a place and space, world we've never seen before. In the middle of what do you call it? Is it Nepal, where the Himalayas are, and all this type of stuff. You got some wild stories. We won't go through them today. We'll save them for the future. But people you met along the way, or in your own running events, because you do for a living, you produce running events. Like you have one, don't you have one this weekend coming up?
Yes, and if you are Southern California based, you better not miss these, because we work our heart out. I have a crew that I've built up. Some of them are my inner city boys. They're based from the hood in LA. Some of them, like you did, and I just smile my heart out that you willingly took a
little kid in.
Yes.
I wish I could say it was all noble. I realized at some point I wanted a child, and I'd waited too long, and so this opportunity presented. I said, I'll do that. And
it's not easy.
It was not easy.
No, it is not easy.
It's very rewarding, but it was not easy.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about your event this weekend. Give it a plug.
So I'm going to give it a plug because
for those listening live,
go to Caren, remember Caren Ware, and I'm going to just, if you are watching, hold this up, because I have a really funny thing that I'm going to end this
I'm
today
Caren
with.
Ware.
I am Caren Ware.
This is like the movie Spartacus, where Kirk Douglas stands up at the end. Everybody says, "Who is Spartacus? I need 1,000 something." They all stand up. I am Spartacus, and they're all together.
So I am Caren Ware. I wear this at the race so that you know, in that whole crowd, who I am. Not because I'm anybody. But I
thought it was everybody wears this, and so they're all become you in this race here.
No. But what's going to happen at this next race is I opened up the box from the new shirts for my staff, and I thought I'm going to get them all crew shirts that say crew on the back, and I'm going to get them all jackets. And I said, I needed a few more, not this one that is sweaty and everything. I need another I am Caren Ware.
Right.
What do you think happened?
You got boxes of I'm Caren Ware.
Yes.
So it's like Spartacus. Do you remember? You probably don't remember. I'm dating myself. Like Kirk Douglas plays Spartacus, the slave.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Who rises up and leads the slave revolt, and then at the end, of course, it's crushed. And Sir Lawrence Olivier, the Roman general, he doesn't know what he looks like. So he says, I'll let you all go if you just give me the leader, Spartacus. Turn in your leader, and you can all live. And one by one, thousands of them rise up in the hills. So he says, "Who's Spartacus?" And they all stand up and said, "I am, I am, I am,
Oh
I am."
my
Man, women,
gosh.
child. And so he says, "I got to kill all of you then." So he does. He kills all of them in this awful scene to get the one Spartacus. I guess if you're all Spartacus, then I got to kill all of you. And they all go, rather than turn him in, they all stand up at this final moment of the scene. "We're with you, buddy. We're not, you led us out of slavery. We almost made it. And we're not going to give you up, so we're all going to die with you here." It's like a very moving, famous line in the movie here. "I am Spartacus." They all stand up. That's what I thought. So that's what it is. We are all one. We're taking on. You're not alone.
Yes.
We're all with you.
So luckily, they're not going to have to give up their life for that. What they,
Like Spartacus,
they
right?
have to give up their heart. They have to show that they have passion, that they're out there cheering you on as you run by at the water station, and they're trying to put the themes out. So we decided to, rather than wait to have someone else do it, once a month we would put on a major running race in Southern California. They tend to be in Orange County,
Right.
Huntington Beach, State Park, Bolsa Chica. We do a bunch at Irvine Valley College or
Right.
Wild Rivers. So you have to go to Caren Ware and put the word events after it, carenwareevents.com,
Right.
and look at it. And then also, if you're listening today and you say, "Hey, I listened to your podcast," hit the contact me and I'll give you a comp code.
What?
And or not a comp code, but I'll give you a discount code so
Right.
that you can come experience it, especially if you have kids in a family.
So for those
Yeah.
people who've stumbled upon this as they running through their list of things to listen to or watch today, they came across OC Talk Radio, they came across the show, they're listening live on your Facebook, on YouTube, or whatever, they can go to Caren Ware, C-A-R-E-N, carenwareevents.com. Somewhere they type in, "I'm with you, I saw this, I heard it," and they can get a discount code to come to the event this weekend, which is where?
Yeah, so this weekend we're at Bolsa Chica State Beach. We're
Bolsa
doing
Chica.
I'm calling it the February Festival because we couldn't decide, do we do a heart run?
You always
for
got to have a name
Valentine's?
for everything. The turkey trot or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then you have Super Bowl. So
Right.
we are doing the Heart Run / Super Bowl 5K half marathon this weekend. So that's a 3.1 mile race or a 13.1 mile race.
And what's it cost to participate
And
in?
it's typically around, for the 5Ks, it's around, what it is the cost of what it costs me for insurance, for the permit, for the,
Right.
you get a custom shirt, you get a custom finisher medal and a chance to win awards.
Right.
And you
So if
get
you
some
do-
refreshments and
Right.
yeah, so it's
a
about
whole event.
$45, and it's a weird thing on the website because the state of California said that you had to put the ATM cost that the website server that
Yeah.
so it's like
Right,
it
because
comes
you
out-
put it somewhere and then they charge you to
yeah,
collect
so
the money.
it comes out
right.
like the 42 and 18 cents or something. If you see something weird like that, that's just because we're trying to abide by all the regulations that California has. And then half marathons, because it's triple the distance and we have to have crew out there, supporting them and stuff. It's we have the cheapest half marathon. If you go look at it, it's like $70 to $80. Where
Well, you're
the other
gonna
ones are $160.
Oh my God! So by listening to this show, we're going to do a couple of these a month, starting now. You get some insight into this world of running, these half marathons, not just the events you put on, but the ones that you participate in as well as a runner around the world. So we're going to take you into this runner's world. But in the process, I'm intrigued to hear the people you run into, the amazing stories, the runners, or the people you just in these other countries, and strange stories, these kids you ran into in inner city and took on a mentor. All these people you pick up along the way as this little tribe as you're running and gathering. And most importantly, the takeaways you got as you, what does this mean to you? What can we learn from your run as we all become? I'm Caren Ware. We're all you. We're all listening to you, and we're all
Exactly.
learning from you. I think that's
And
fascinating.
you know
People and lessons.
And I want you to think, what's your name? I am, and be that name. Be that name. And the cool part is we have shirt sizes from youth small to XXX.
To
and
fat
so,
and old.
Yeah, and so we call ourselves.
Why is everybody looking at me?
No, but we call ourselves to something for everybody and everybody.
Ooh.
So many people out there have nullified their ability to be able to be eligible, or what do you call it? I didn't do well in athletics in school. I
It's
didn't
the
do.
no I can't versus the yes I can. Many of
Yeah.
us don't know who. I know so many people. A very good buddy of mine, very successful lawyer, discovered not so much running but climbing. He's climbed all over the world, And it started off as just kind of, can I do it? I'm kind of overweight,
Yes,
not of
yeah.
shape. And I didn't think I could. And I climbed this and I climbed that. And pretty soon it's become not just a passion, but almost a purpose and a defining character of who he is.
And I don't want that, because there's a umbrella of personality types that we all have. We have type A driver personalities and
Right.
people that really like to go after goals and do PRs. But we want to let everybody out there know we're there for everybody. If you're just a recreation person that wants to skip, walk backwards, or just wants to come and spectate or help us hand out medals and stuff.
Yeah. Lots of ways to participate.
Yeah, so there's something for everybody because I think just getting out and being active. I haven't had one person come to our race and go, "Gosh, I'm really sad that I got up
Yeah,
this
well,
early
that was
this
terrible.
morning."
So
Yeah.
give us again just one last plug for the actual event this week. It's at Bolsa Chica,
Bolsa
which is
Chica
where?
State
In
Beach.
Huntington Beach?
It's in Huntington Beach, but it's tucked away way past Huntington Beach, almost into Sunset Beach, like you're heading to Sill Beach.
Okay.
There's a state park there, and
So they just go to the state park and can they just arrive and pay the fee and get the
Yes,
shirt and line up
yes.
and go?
And we actually have, today is Thursday, I'll plug this. We're doing a packet pickup where you can come pick up your bib. And if you want information.
bib, what's that, your
and-
number on it
Yeah,
or
your
something?
number, and you can get your shirt and get, prepped for the race.
Right.
We do, we're doing it on a Thursday because Friday traffic sometimes is bad
Sure.
and we need the extra day to get ready for this particular race. But you can come to Roadrunner Sports in Newport Beach.
That's a huge runner's place,
Yes,
I think.
yes, and they give you a discount if you come, buy things there. And so we do like a pre-packet pickup. It's not mandatory, but you can come get your stuff early.
Yeah. Get set up, because
and get
otherwise
set
you
up.
got to get there and stand in line
Yeah,
and get your stuff.
and we try so hard to make sure that you're not standing in line. That,
What
you
time
know,
do they have to get there, though? That's what's crazy.
the gate opens at 6.
Oh!
Yeah, 6 a.m. and the expo opens up at 6:30 a.m. But it goes to, the gun goes off. We made the 5Ks later so that you have a little more extra time. 8:30 a.m. We're one of the few. Most of them are 8 because they can't close streets and roads. And
Right.
we do it in the state park, but we also do it in Bolsa Chica State Park because a lot of you know that there's free parking in Sunset and then if you're a jogger, you warm up by jogging in. So there's a $15 fee to get into the
sense.
state park that they require. If you have a pass, you don't have to pay that. So carpool.
So they park next where, in
Yeah,
Sunset Beach?
Yeah, so you can come
And
in the
jog
main
in.
gate and pay $15 per car, or you can go behind the infamous the infamous Jack in the Box on the corner of Warner and PCH.
Okay.
Don't park in any of the
Jack in the Box
commercial
places,
commercial places, but there's parking, and there's a parking lot that opens at 7, closes, and then all the other ones are free parking. So a lot of people love that because they love the idea of that they can save money.
Well,
and
we're
then-
way over our allotted
Yeah,
time here,
okay,
so let's
so,
see if we
well-
can wrap it up. But I think it's a great, you can certainly come and hear about running events in the runner's world, and maybe running, you want to know more about it, learn about it. You put on events, you participate in events, we're going to learn all that and more. But it ain't just for runners. This is for anybody who wants to challenge themselves, who wants to help get up and get over life's challenges like you did, like your mom did, and like so many other people. It's a way to push yourself, right? And pass barriers, past what you think you can. And you
Just
can,
yeah,
you can come out
enhance.
and do it, or you can sit back in your easy chair and listen to others do it as they do it like you do. I think it's a fascinating show. I look forward to it. Running into Life. Where do they find out more about you and your events? Give it one more time here.
Caren with the C, Caren.
Because I want you to
Ware.
care.
Is my last name Ware, so it rhymes. Caren Ware.
Caren Ware.
And if you Google that, pretty much everything pops up because we had to brand it that way. But carenwareevents.com, and hit the calendar section, and all those races will pop down.
Starts today and runs as long as we can sustain this thing here, and find an audience for it, and hopefully you share it with others and you'll learn from it along the way.
Awesome.
Thank
And then
you
just
so
go to
much.
findingfit.com and you can read about it.
You
Okay,
read about it.
cool.
Thank you so much. Well, that's it, folks. One more reason to tune in each and every time as we run straight into life. The journey of finding your fit, and how to be active, and how that helps you get up and over life's biggest challenge. Right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studio here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.